Let's see. One. All right, we're here. Awesome. All right, so we are live. There we are. All right, I'm going to switch this. Give me 2 seconds. All right, let's rock. So what we're talking about today, how can you plan the perfect day? Have you ever thought, God, if I could just get it all done, my business would rock? If you ever find yourself thinking that, if you ever find yourself wondering, how does everybody else get it done? I can't figure it out. I'm like, I should be able to do this too. Don't worry, I've got you covered. If you give me the next 5 minutes, I'm going to go through these steps that my clients use on a daily basis to make sure that they get it all done. And I will give you a handout at the end that I call the Profit Leap formula. So if you want to have that at the end, just leave daily at the bottom comment daily and I will send it right over. All right, let's jump in. So we are talking about how you can craft the perfect day. So there's a couple of things that you really need to do when you're crafting the perfect day. And that's number one, where are you going? You have to know where you're going. And I don't mean, to the grocery store or even today. Where are you going long term? Because when you start planning, if you just plan for today or tomorrow and you don't know the big picture, you're still going to be like that. I like to call it the spiral, but when you get this, you're like maybe the dog chasing the tail type thing, right? So where are you going long term? Figure that out, figure out what that long-term thing looks like, and then work it backwards. So if your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal is 5 years out, say, right? You're going to plan, what do you need to have done in 4 years and 3 years and 2 years and 1 year? And then you're going to do quarters, and then you're going to do months, and then you're going to do weeks and days. So lots of planning on the front end, but let's say you have all of that done. And now you're like, okay, I'm ready. I've got all of that done. So what are you going to do every single day when you get up? And what I call the profits formula. And the first thing you're going to do is plan your top 3 goals for the day. So you're going to say, if I get these 3 things done today, it will be a successful day. If I get these 3 things done, it will be a successful day. So what are those 3 things? And it could be as small as I need to pick up the phone and call so-and-so. That might be a 5-minute call. It could be an hour call, depending on who you're calling and what you're calling about, right? That could be one of your goals. One of your goals could be, let me reverse here. When you create your goals, make sure your goals are things that are size chunks that you can get done in one sitting. So I'm not saying use your BHAG. I'm saying when you chop it all the way back down, you need to have chunks of things that you can check off as goals. So your goal for today cannot be create your funnel if you know that's going to take you 2 weeks. Your goal for today can be think of the map, draw out the steps of my funnel. That's what you want to do today. That could be. Okay. So whether that takes you an hour, 45 minutes, 4 hours, you want to figure out more or less how long that's going to take you. And that can be one of your goals. When you complete these 3 goals, I want you to know that your day is complete. You have reached success. So you want to keep that in the back of your mind and think about that. So that's the P for spelling, right? Cheesy Erica with the acronym. So that's your P. So plan your goals. The next one is R. You're going to review your schedule for today. So every day when you start, you're going to get up and you're going to review it the night before, right? but you're also going to review it in the morning when you start working. So you're going to start working with knowing what that goal is. So all of this starts when? The night before. You're going to do that P the night before and plan it, prioritize it. What is it that you need to get done to have the perfect day? Plan it, prioritize it. Then you're going to review what you have on your schedule. What do you have to do? Do you need to go pick up your granddaughter from swim practice? Do you know that you have a team meeting that you have to attend at such and such a time? Map all of that out first. Hopefully that was already mapped out at the beginning of the week, but any of those, review it, make any adjustments. So P was plan and prioritize. The R is review. The next one thing. So we start off with 3 things that would make today a successful day, right? But let's narrow it down. What about one thing? What one thing would make today a successful day? What one thing could you do? I want you to write that down, the one thing that you can do. And if you can zero it into one thing, and if that was the only thing you got done, would you end this day being like, yes? So maybe that one thing is a phone call that you keep. I always say phone call because that's one we dread. But maybe that one thing is creating that piece of content and getting it out that you know that you need to do every day. Maybe that one thing is contacting 10 people that replied on your post yesterday. Whatever, write down that one thing. If you get that one thing done, know that that is a successful day. When you're looking at the one thing, make sure that it is a profit, income producing activity. Make sure that it is an income producing activity. If you don't know what that is, if you don't know what your income producing activities are, then chat me up. Let's talk about it. But anything that's going to lead you to getting on the phone call with somebody if you're a coach, right? Bringing you closer to that phone call or the sale. That's what you want to do. That's the one thing. All right. So we are at PROF. F is fantastic. So now at the end of the day, you're going to write down, what is one thing that I did so fantastic today, right? Not something that happened, like your granddaughter won that swim meet, not that, something that you did. What did you do today that was so fantastic? Keep a running fantastic list. Keep a running fantastic list. There's 2 reasons for this. But one of them is you need to remind yourself, a lot of times we get moving, we get going, and we don't realize how much we're really accomplishing. This happens to me. How much you're really accomplishing and how much you've really moved forward unless we keep track of it. So start keeping track of that. Keep your fantastic list. I, the next one, improve. So what is one thing you can improve on today? So what happened today? What did you do today? What's one thing that you could do better tomorrow? So maybe one of your goals was, I want to reach out to 10 people and you only reached out to 7. So you want to make sure that that's the one thing you want to improve tomorrow. I've got to get to my 10. Otherwise, I'm not going to hit my numbers, or I have to get to my 80 or I'm not going to hit my numbers, whatever that is. So what do you want to improve on? Maybe your focus is losing weight and your big thing is drinking enough water. Whatever that thing is. We're talking about business, but it could be whatever you want it to be, right? So what's the one thing that you can improve on tomorrow? You can keep a business list and a personal list. I'm all right with that. All right. PROFIT, today's story. 2 reasons for this. Okay, so write down a story from today, something that happened, anything that went on, anything. Force yourself to write a story. And it doesn't have to be, like a whole long 3-page essay. Write down the highlights of what happened in a line or 2. The highlights of what happened. I like to use an Excel spreadsheet with a date. You can use whatever you want. The reason I like to use an Excel spreadsheet is because I like it to be, Control F, so searchable. And next to it, I will put keywords. And I'm going to tell you, if you can write down stories of what happened to you every single day, you can then revisit those stories at the end of the week and see, is there a way that I could craft a better story from the story that will intertwine with my pillars or with what I like to teach or with what I'm doing in my business? So is there a way to get that? And if you can attach it to one of your pillars, then you've got some great content that's real content, your content, zero AI, that you can use for the next week. And it literally took you maybe a minute to think about it and another minute to write it down. And then at the end of the week, you're going to spend 5-10 minutes reviewing all the stories from the week and writing keywords. If you can think of them at the time, obviously write them down. What kind of keywords, you ask? So I would write keywords that have to do with your pillars. Maybe the pillars are your keywords, or maybe it's something like resilience. Maybe you have some power words that you like to use. Resilience is one of mine. Maybe it's time management. Whatever it is, you come up with your own keywords. They don't need to be mine. You don't need to say these are the keywords that I'm using. But when you tell the story has a purpose. And one of the purposes, hopefully, is that keyword, right? So write that down every day. And the last one, it's profits. The last one is S. Schedule your awesome tomorrow today. And so now at the end of the day, we're going to start all over and we're going to schedule tomorrow for today. Schedule tomorrow today. All right. I love it. If you want a copy of this, it's Cheesy Erica Colors. If you want a copy of that, I'd be happy to send it over. It has the layout of what all the letters mean on the first page. And the second page is like a printable daily planner that you can use every day. You can recreate the whole thing in an Excel or your planner, if you write it down, if you use Google Drive, whatever. But it just gives you the idea of everything that you want to answer for yourself and everything that you want to do. And it is to plan your perfect day. So drop daily below this video. If you want me to send it over to you, I'd be happy to. And I will see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao. Let's see.